Welcome to my channel where we delve into the unique challenges faced by women whose lives, hopes, and dreams have been profoundly impacted by adverse childhood experiences known as ACEs. We explore how early life stress can influence your current energy levels, strength, health, and resilience, particularly during midlife and beyond. Together, we'll uncover strategies to overcome these obstacles so that you can cultivate and continue building a life of purpose, joy, and well-being. My name is Dr. Maureena Bivins, and as a primary health care provider and somatic therapist in the holistic health space for 25 years, I guide women in their journey from exhaustion to empowerment. I help them heal from the past so they can embrace the present moment and create a future filled with vitality and purpose. So please leave a comment and subscribe if this video resonates with you. If you've experienced difficult things as a child, like abuse, family dysfunction, or neglect, it can have a lasting impact on your life. These experiences can affect your physical and mental health. So see the link below where you can download a free modified ACEs quiz if you'd like to evaluate your own exposure to adverse childhood experiences and early life stress. I first learned about the ACEs study while I was doing research for my PhD. My research focused on how early life stress can have a big impact on a person's physical and mental health throughout their entire life. This research was very important to me personally because I was trying to understand my own difficult childhood experiences and how they have affected me. So the ACEs study linked adverse childhood experiences to chronic health issues later in life. It also discovered that girls experience more complex and difficult situations during childhood compared to boys, which can have a big and lasting impact on how they feel, think, and interact with others throughout their lives. Lastly, the study found that people who reported experiencing 6 or more adverse childhood experiences before they turned 18 might have a higher chance of dying younger, maybe even 25% higher. So that's a startling finding. Harvard Center for the Developing Child gives us a clue as to why this may be happening. And I quote them: "The environments we create and the experiences we provide for young children and their families affect not just the developing brain, but also many other physiological systems, from cardiovascular function and immune responsiveness to metabolic function. All these systems are responsible for our lifelong health and well-being." One of the early researchers in the field of developmental neuroscience is Dr. Bruce Perry. He co-authored this study, Timing of Early Life Stress in the Development of Brain-Related Capacities. The study examined how exposure to early life stress during sensitive periods of development could initiate a chain reaction of problems affecting how that child functions in life. So we know that a baby's brain grows incredibly fast during the first few months of life. It's like a rapid construction project. When laying the foundation of a house and building its walls, everything needs to be done carefully. This is also the time when a baby's genes, their blueprint, are starting to react with their environment. So in essence, early life stress can have a lasting impact on a child's development because it interferes with the critical process of building a strong and healthy foundation for their brain. Exposures to severe stress in early development is like trying to build a house in a hurricane. The strong winds and chaos can damage the foundation, making it unstable. Unfortunately, even if these children get help, they might still face challenges, like being overly sensitive to sounds or touch. having trouble controlling their impulses, struggling with their emotions, having difficulty making friends, and experiencing problems with learning and remembering things. What did the researchers discover? Well, they found that babies who experience things like domestic violence, drug use by their caregivers, neglect, and a lack of emotional connection or attunement with their caregivers in the first 2 months of life had difficulties processing sensory information and controlling their emotions and behaviors by the age of 8. So let's break this down. In the first 2 months of life, exposure to stress can alter the infant's sensory integration pathways, which may not be obvious right away. However, early exposure to stress appears to hinder their ability to accurately process information from their senses, like sight, sound, touch, taste, and smell. So when sensory integration is disrupted, it can negatively impact a child's development in their emotions, how they feel and manage their feelings. Their social skills, how they interact with others. Physical skills, how they move and use their body. And cognitive skills, how they learn and think. So as borne out in the study, exposure to early life stress also affects a child's capacity for optimal self-regulation, which is a crucial skill that empowers children to effectively manage their emotions, their ability to recognize and understand and appropriately express their feelings, like anger, sadness, joy, and frustration. Their thoughts, controlling impulses, focusing attention, and managing negative thinking. And then their behaviors are affected in making conscious choices, responding calmly to challenges, and adapting to difficult situations. So if you find yourself struggling with sensory integration and self-regulation as an adult, and you have a history of adverse childhood experience, this study suggests that these are developmental issues that probably link to early life stress in the perinatal window of 0 to 2 months of age. So at this point, you might be thinking, well, I've had tough times growing up, but my childhood wasn't as bad as the really severe cases described in this research. Well, even if the stories around your birth and infancy seem okay on the surface, we know that the quality of the early mother-baby bond matters. For example, how attuned the mother is to her baby's needs will influence the baby's brain and nervous system development. I'll talk more about the importance of attunement and the impact of relational poverty in other ACEs video segments. So if you'd like to evaluate your own exposure to adverse childhood experiences and early life stress, click on the free link below to download a modified ACEs quiz. And if you found this video useful, please hit subscribe, comment, and feel free to share.